I should have known something was wrong when Marcus asked me to sign the prenup at dinner. Not at a lawyer's office, not at home, at his mother's house, with his entire family watching. We'd been engaged for 8 months, planning the wedding, looking at venues, talking about our future. I loved him. I really did. He was charming, successful, came from money, old money, the kind that comes with expectations and traditions I didn't fully understand. I came from a middle-class family. My parents were teachers. We lived comfortably, but we didn't have wealth, not the kind his family had. I worked as a graphic designer, freelance mostly. I made enough to support myself, to pay my bills, to live independently. I thought that was enough. That night his mother set the table with her fine china. His father poured expensive wine. His sister sat across from me, perfectly composed, watching. Marcus handed me a folder, thick, official-looking. "It's just a formality," he said, smiling. "My family's lawyer drew it up. Standard stuff. Protects both of us." I opened it. Pages and pages of legal language. I'm not a lawyer. I didn't understand half of it, but I understood enough. In the event of divorce, I would leave with nothing. Not half. Nothing. No matter how long we were married. No matter what I contributed. "Marcus, this seems extreme," I said quietly. His mother's voice cut through the room. "It's protection, dear. You understand?" I looked at Marcus, waiting for him to say something, to defend me, to tell his mother that we were a team, that marriage meant partnership, not protection from each other. He didn't. "My mum's right," he said, refilling his wine glass. "It's just smart. You wouldn't want me to be careless with my family's assets, would you? His family's assets. Not ours. Not even his. His family's." I felt my throat tighten. "Can I at least have my own lawyer review this before I sign?" His sister laughed. Actually laughed. "A lawyer costs money, sweetheart. Do you even have that kind of money?" The table went quiet. Marcus didn't correct her. His father cleared his throat and cut into his steak. His mother sipped her wine, looking at me over the rim of her glass with something like pity. "I just think," I said, keeping my voice steady, "that if we're getting married, we should trust each other. This feels like you're planning for failure before we even start." Marcus reached for my hand. His touch felt cold. "Babe, don't be dramatic. Every couple in our circle does this. It's normal. If you love me, this shouldn't be a problem. If you love me." Those words hung in the air like a threat disguised as reassurance. I looked down at the contract again, at the signatures already on the bottom of the last page. His lawyer, his father, witnesses, all prepared, all waiting for mine. "I need time to think," I said. His mother's smile disappeared. "The wedding is in 6 weeks. Marcus drove me home in silence, the kind of silence that feels like punishment. When we pulled up to my apartment, he didn't turn off the car. "You embarrassed me tonight," he said, staring straight ahead. "I embarrassed you." My voice cracked. "Marcus, your sister insulted me. Your family treated me like I'm some gold digger trying to steal from you. They're just protecting what's theirs. What will be ours someday." He finally looked at me. "You're making this bigger than it is. Just sign it. Stop overthinking everything." I got out of the car. He didn't follow me. He didn't walk me to my door like he used to. He just drove away the moment I closed the door, taillights disappearing into the night. Inside my apartment, I sat on the floor with that folder in my lap. I read through it again, slowly this time. There was a clause about my work. Any intellectual property I created during the marriage would be evaluated for contribution value. Another about living arrangements. The house would remain solely in his name. I would be a guest in my own home. And then I found it, buried in Section 12, a termination clause. If the marriage failed to produce children within 5 years, either party could dissolve the union with no contest. I would leave with a one-time payment of $50,000 for 5 years of my life. I wasn't a partner to them. I was a contracted employee, a potential incubator, an acceptable addition as long as I stayed small, grateful, and quiet. I sat there until morning, that contract in my hands, and something inside me broke. Not loudly, quietly. The way trust breaks when you finally see the truth. I didn't call Marcus the next day, or the day after that. He texted me twice. "Have you thought about it? And we need to move forward with this." I responded with one word. Soon. I wasn't ready to end it. Not yet. not because I wanted to stay, but because I needed to understand what I was really walking away from, or what I was walking into. I called a lawyer, not one of Marcus's connections, a woman my friend recommended, someone who specialized in family law and had no ties to his world. Her office was small, cramped, nothing like the marble lobbies Marcus's family frequented. She read through the prenup slowly, making notes, occasionally shaking her head. "This is one of the most one-sided contracts I've ever seen," she said finally. "If you sign this, you're signing away any claim to anything, even things you bring into the marriage, even your own earnings if they're deposited into joint accounts. Can they do that?" "They can if you agree to it." She looked at me over her glasses. "The real question is, why would you?" I didn't have an answer, not one that made sense out loud. "Here's what concerns me most," she continued, pointing to a section. "This clause here. It states that any legal dispute must be handled by their family attorney as arbiter. You'd have no independent representation. Do you understand what that means?" I nodded slowly. It meant I'd never win. Not against them. "Don't sign this," she said. "And if he loves you, he won't ask you to." I went home and did something I hadn't done before. I started paying attention, really paying attention, to the way Marcus spoke about our future, to the way his family treated me, to the things I'd ignored because I wanted so badly to believe in us. I noticed how he never asked about my work anymore, how he'd started making decisions without consulting me, the honeymoon destination he booked without asking my preference, the guest list his mother finalized without my input, the way he introduced me at events. "This is my fiancé," never my name first. I was an accessory, a role to fill, not a person. 2 weeks before the wedding, I was at his parents' house again. Another dinner, another performance. His mother was discussing seating arrangements, floral choices, menu options, all decisions already made. "I thought we agreed on the garden roses," I said quietly. His mother didn't even look up. "Peonies photograph better, dear. Trust me, it's my wedding too." The room went still. Marcus set down his fork. "Babe, let's not do this now." "Do what? Have an opinion about my own wedding?" His father cleared his throat. "Marcus's mother has planned dozens of events. She knows what works. Perhaps you should defer to her experience." Defer. That word again. I was always supposed to defer. To them. To their judgment. To their world. I excused myself, went to the bathroom, locked the door, stared at myself in their gilded mirror. And I realized something. I'd been trying so hard to fit into their picture that I'd erased myself completely. When I came back to the table, I sat down and smiled. I didn't argue. I didn't push back. I just nodded along with everything his mother said. Marcus looked relieved. His father went back to his meal. His sister smirked like she'd won something. But inside, I was making a different kind of plan. That night, I went home and opened my laptop. I started documenting everything. Every conversation. Every clause in that contract. Every time I'd been dismissed, insulted, or erased. I wasn't doing it for revenge. I was doing it so I wouldn't forget. So I wouldn't let them gaslight me into thinking I was overreacting. I also started making calls, canceling things quietly. The photographer I'd hired for the engagement photos. The calligrapher who was supposed to do our thank you cards. Small things. Things only I had arranged. Things that were mine. Marcus noticed none of it. He was too busy with his groomsman's trip, his bachelor party, his preparations. The wedding wasn't about us becoming partners. It was about him completing a checklist. 1 week before the ceremony, his mother called me. "We need your signature on the prenup by tomorrow. The lawyer needs it filed before the wedding." "Of course," I said sweetly. "I'll bring it to the rehearsal dinner." "You'll sign it then?" "I'll bring it," I repeated. She paused. Something in my tone must have registered, but she didn't push. "Fine. Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. Don't be late." I hung up. And I pulled out a folder of my own, one I'd been preparing, one that contained everything they didn't know about me, everything I'd kept quiet, everything I was about to make very, very loud. The rehearsal dinner was held at the same country club where the wedding would take place. Elegant, expensive, everything his family wanted. White tablecloths, crystal glasses, a string quartet playing softly in the corner. I arrived exactly on time. I wore a simple dress, carried a leather portfolio under my arm. Marcus kissed my cheek, distracted, already halfway into a conversation with his best man. His mother approached immediately. "Do you have it?" she asked. No greeting, no pretense. "I do," I said calmly, "but I'd like everyone to be seated first. I think we should do this properly. In front of the family." She looked surprised but pleased. "How mature of you." "Yes, let's make it official." Everyone took their seats. Both families, the wedding party, close friends, maybe 40 people total. Marcus sat at the head table, relaxed, confident. His father raised a glass, ready to make a toast. I stood up before he could speak. "Thank you all for being here," I said. My voice was steady, calm. "Before we celebrate tomorrow, there's something important I need to address." Marcus looked confused. His mother smiled tightly, assuming I was about to sign the prenup in some grand romantic gesture. I opened my portfolio, but I didn't pull out their contract. I pulled out mine. "I've spent the last 3 weeks reviewing the prenuptial agreement Marcus's family prepared. I also consulted with my own attorney." I looked directly at his mother, "and I've prepared a response." The room went quiet. Marcus sat up straighter. "Babe, what are you doing?" "I'm protecting myself," I said. "The way you've been protecting yourself." I handed Marcus a copy, then his father, then his mother. I'd printed enough for everyone at the head table. "What you'll find there is my counter-offer. If we're going to base our marriage on a contract, let's make sure it's fair." Marcus's mother opened hers first. Her face went pale within seconds. His father's jaw tightened. Marcus just stared at the pages like they were written in another language. "What the hell is this?" his father said. "It's simple," I replied. "If I'm signing away my rights to any assets acquired during our marriage, then I require compensation for my contributions. Household management, social obligations, family planning, all things your contract expects from me. I've valued my time at a professional rate. $200,000 per year, adjusted for inflation." His sister gasped. "You're insane." "Am I?" I kept my voice level. "Your contract requires me to give up my career if we have children, to relocate if Marcus's job demands it, to maintain a certain social presence. Those are jobs. I'm simply asking to be paid for them." Marcus finally found his voice. "This is ridiculous. Making a mockery of our marriage." "No, Marcus, you already did that." I turned to face him fully. "Your contract treats me like an employee, so I'm negotiating my salary. That's how contracts work." His mother stood up, shaking. "If you think we're going to agree to this gold-digging nonsense, I don't." I interrupted. "I don't think you'll agree. In fact, I'm counting on it." The room was dead silent. Everyone staring, waiting. I reached into my portfolio one more time. I pulled out their prenup, unsigned, and I placed it on the table in front of Marcus. "Because I'm not signing yours either." Marcus stood up so fast his chair fell backward. "You're calling off the wedding the night before? Are you serious?" "I'm completely serious." I looked around the room, at his family, at mine sitting quietly in the corner, my mother's hand over her mouth. "I'm calling off a marriage that was never going to be a partnership. I'm walking away from a family that sees me as a liability instead of a person." His mother's voice was ice. "You'll regret this. Everyone will know what you did, how you humiliated us." "Good," I said simply. "Let them know. Let them know you asked me to sign away my future, my work, my worth. Let them know you valued me at $50,000 for 5 years of my life." I picked up my portfolio, turned to Marcus one last time. He looked devastated, angry, confused, but not apologetic. He still didn't understand. "I loved you," I said quietly. "I really did. But I love myself more than I love the idea of being your wife." I walked toward the exit. My mother stood up, grabbed her purse, and followed me without a word. My father right behind her. We walked out together, past the shocked faces, past the whispers already starting. Outside, the air was cool, clear. I could breathe again. My mother hugged me tight. "I'm proud of you." I didn't cry. I didn't break down. I just stood there, free. While inside that country club, Marcus's perfect wedding fell apart without me. 6 months later, I heard he married someone else. Someone who signed. Someone who fit. I didn't feel jealous. I felt grateful. Grateful I chose myself. Grateful I walked away. Grateful that their contract exposed everything before it was too late.